fans of Let's Talk Chicago Bears. Well, I decided I'm going to do a little show today on the Super Bowl. And, because I know that my fans out there really are like, we need some more Lynn. So I thought I'd do another show. Just a few tidbits of the Super Bowl. It's going to be a short show, but as you noticed, my set is not. I'm not sitting in front of my set today. My set is under construction, getting ready for the baseball season. So that's why I'm sitting in front of my Bears poster. Not a poster. I'm sorry. It's a painting from the 1985 Bears. Um, and a couple things I just wanted to say too is. I got some great fans that follow me, and one of it's usually the same people that do the comments and stuff like that. But somebody asked me, and I guess maybe I should clarify it. Somebody asked me, "Have you ever lived in Illinois?" And yes, I lived my first 59 years in Illinois, and for the last 30 of them, I was close to the border of Wisconsin, which I got to tell you sucked because there was in all of our stores, because we were so close to Wisconsin, there was a lot of Packer paraphernalia, which I hated. So I always used to yell out, "This doesn't belong in this store!" And when my son was young, he'd be like, "Mom, stop it. People are looking at us." And my husband would be like, "Stop it." I'm like, "This is Illinois." And there were a lot of Packer fans around there too. So, yes, I did live in Illinois for 59 years. And in 2018, January, I had sold my house, packed up my house, and moved to Vegas, baby. My son flew into Illinois, and him and I drove from Illinois to Vegas because he had already lived here. He lived here for several years. So I decided I was done with Illinois, the weather, the taxes, and corporate life. Meaning, corporations, and all the bullshit that goes to it. I was done. I had it. So I decided I'm leaving and going to Vegas, and I did. So that's why I'm in Vegas now. And I can't, I got to tell you, the weather is pretty dang good. Although we're having a mild winter here, but still. So, anyways, let's get on to this. I just wanted to say that to you guys because, I was thinking, yeah, people are probably thinking, has she ever lived in Illinois? Oh yeah, I've been there. So I'm a Midwesterner, tough. Us Midwest people are tough as shit, are we not? Yeah, rock 'em, barber. Anyways, so that Super Bowl last night, I gotta tell you, unless you were a Bucks fan or you had a bet that the Bucks were gonna cream Kansas City, you were the only people who liked the game because it was 31-9, and I'm sorry, boring as shit. I ended up finding myself talking through the game more than ever, and I don't do that usually because it was just so boring. Really, KC in the first half of that game had so many stupid penalties, and there was some drops by people that I could have caught those balls, for crying out loud. So, you know what? But the penalties, and if you've been a follower of my show all season, how many times do I talk about penalties, penalties, penalties? And they had them at the wrong time, and they hurt them. Although there was one in the end zone that they called New England, KC, they said interfered with a New England player, pass interference. That was a bullshit call. There was no pass interference. That's when my son looked at me and said, apparently even the officials want Brady to win his 7th ring. And I go, it appears that way. So, but really, that's what hurt KC in the first half. There was a couple drops, and one was by Kelsey. I couldn't believe it. Unbelievable. He would have had a first down and then some, and the ball was right there. I mean, seriously, I could have caught it. And I'm old and out of shape, as you all know. I've been around the block a few times, and I'm worn out. But so by the second half, when they came out and they got the ball the first time, I said, to my son and his fiance, I said, if they do not score 7 points right now, game over, and they did not. So that was it. So don't worry, Mahomes will be back. That's for sure. And you know what? I heard somebody say, maybe, you know what? Because this kid's been riding his high horse, on a high for so long, in college and then into the pros, and maybe he needs a little knockdown. You wake up and you realize, okay, I got to keep fighting harder and harder. Although Mahomes does not seem like a kind of kid, I call him a kid, he's 25, that would, who's all about himself. He's pretty put together. But anyways, so we know that Brady won his seventh ring. And he did it with New England. He won 6, and now with Tampa Bay. And I was looking at this because I thought, okay, so he's the only player in NFL history that has 7 Super Bowl rings. The next closest is Charles Haley. And he was a defensive player, and he has 5 Super Bowl rings. He won them with 49ers and Dallas. And now some of these names I'm going to mention next, a lot of you youngsters might not know who they are, or you're not all youngsters. I don't know what kind of ages I have on my show. So, but so Charles Haley, so it goes Brady 7, Charles Haley has 5, and then there's 30 players that have won 4 rings. Now, of course, I'm not going to read them all off, but I'm just going to read a couple to you. Terry Bradshaw, quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, won in 75, 76, 79, and 80, all with Pittsburgh Steelers. Joe Montana, you've heard of him, quarterback. He won in 82, 85, 89, and 90, all with San Francisco. And then he ended up going to Kansas City after that, and it didn't go so well. So he ended up retiring from Kansas City as a Kansas City Chief. Ronnie Lott, a defensive back. You've heard of him. 82, 85, 89, and 90. So we all know that, actually, speaking of this 85, we all know that San Francisco won the Super Bowl in 85 because in the Super Bowl in 86, so they're telling you the actual years that they won it. So in 86, we won the Super Bowl. And we went to thought we were at the championship game, and San Francisco in the season of 84 just embarrassed the shit out of us. And if you've known for a long time, Mike Ditka was really mad. So when they say they won it in 85, they mean it was January of 85. It was the actual 84 season. So I just realized that now because we won the Super Bowl in the 85-86 season. So, but that game, I remember we played them and San Francisco the year before we won the Super Bowl, and Ditka was so pissed because they ran up to score, and Ditka was like, we won't forget it, and we didn't, because we played them the next year in 85-86 season, and we creamed them. So, there you go. Then there's Franco Harris, a fullback. He won it in 75, 76, 79, and 80, all with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then we have Adam Venetieri, a kicker. Yeah, I wanted to put him on there. He won in 2002, 2003, 2005, and 2007. And the first 3 were with New England, and the last one was with Indy when they beat us in Florida in that driving rainstorm that everybody wanted Peyton, the Indianapolis Colts to win because it was Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl. Matt Millen, he was a linebacker. He won in 81, 84, 89, and 91. And now, if you all know or don't know, he is a TV football announcer. He does college games and NFL games. And then the last one I threw in there because his name is Lynn Swann. Lynn, get it? He's a wide receiver, and he won in 75, 76, 79, and 80, all the same years that Terry Bradshaw won, and it was all with Pitt. So Terry Bradshaw was the quarterback, and Lynn Swann was his awesome wide receiver. It had to be the name, I'm just sure of it. So it was kind of interesting. And then we'll talk briefly. The half show was really good this year. I sometimes watch them, sometimes I don't. Obviously social distancing. I only had my son and his fiance over, so but it was really good show. I didn't know who the weekend was. Sorry, I'm a throwback rock and roller. I listen to WXRT in Chicago still out here in Vegas. So if it's not on XRT, I wouldn't know it. But I don't know. I didn't know who the weekend was. Um, but he was really, really good. I got to tell you what, that was one of the better Super Bowl halftimes I've seen in a really long time. Not the best, but probably the top three, I would say. He was really good. And this is kind of cool. It's reported he spent $7 million of his own money to put that Super Bowl set together, all of it. And they don't get paid for that. People who do that do not get paid. It's just, you're making money off of the whole world seeing you on TV. So that's how you get paid, is your endorsements from being on the Super Bowl halftime show. But he was really good. And what really stood out to me, and it was funny, we all said it, and at almost at the same time here, is that and he even had a show social distancing. So when he was on the stage singing, the people behind him, the singers and dancers and musicians, if they didn't have masks on, they were all seated far apart, if you noticed. And then when he went to the field, they all had those face coverings, the bandages that he wore a couple months ago. They were all. So, I mean, to me, that said a lot. He was telling America, you can still party, you can still rock and roll, you can still sing and dance, and you can social distance, and it can be good. I'm sorry, and it was right. So that it was, that was probably the best part. I mean, the other thing is, I got to tell you, is I love when the game's over and the football players, these big burly football players, get on the field and they're playing with the confetti, and then their kids come running on the field and. I saw a couple really cute things where little kids are running, and their dad was clearly an old lineman, and he was doing snow angels with his kid in the confetti on the ground. It was just cute. I think that is so cute. Even Tom Brady, was pretty cute with his kids. So, um, but it is remarkable. You got to give that guy credit, whether you like him or not. 43 years old, and he has 7 rings. Unbelievable, and he's coming back next year. So there you go. That's the Super Bowl roundup for this year. And it really sucks because football's over. I am so bummed about that. Free agency starts in a few weeks, in 3 weeks. So if anything really good happens, I will pop up and do a show and we will talk about it. Because I always like to hear what you guys have to say. But there's a lot of rumors I know going around. Carson Wentz now. You know what? There's something going on with Carson Wentz. I just can't tell if, because he has, it hasn't been as great as he was in the beginning. Is it the scheme of the coaches, the new coaches, or what they're doing? Because he lost his offensive coordinator. Frank Reich is the head coach for Indianapolis now. So he lost him 2 years ago, and he hasn't been the same. So is it that connection that why he's not quite as good, or what? So I think that Philly will trade him if they get a really good deal. But I don't think they will if they won't. If they don't get some, a lot of draft picks. I don't think he's worth 2 first-round picks. I just don't. But I'm sure that's what they're going to be asking, and then some, because they got Jalen Hurts. I think if he does get traded, I see him ending up in Indianapolis, which would make the most sense because it would be under Frank Reich. And maybe they can make magic again. So we don't want him in Illinois, in the Chicago. We don't. Now, of all of them out there left now, we're not going to get Watson, so everybody just sit down and stop it about that. David Carr might be a possibility. But I don't know if the Raiders are going to trade him, or Vegas Raiders, whatever you call them. I don't know. But if they did, he's definitely not worth 2 first-rounders. So you could maybe get away with 1 first-rounder next year. You can't give up a first-rounder this year. We need it this year. But you could maybe get away with that, and maybe, you know what? You can send Mac back to them. I'm just saying. So we'll see, right? There's a lot going to happen in March, I think. So keeping my fingers crossed. And again, Don't forget, that's why my set is under construction. The next show that will premiere in March sometime because it's spring training. And at this point right now, I don't know the schedule. We don't know because of this COVID crap what baseball is going to do. So once I do, I will announce my next show. And again, it's an original show, guys. Let's talk Chicago White Sox. Do I like rocket or what? So, as always, stick together. I love you guys. We need each other right now. We need to turn this thing around. There were some good messages last night with the Super Bowl, and they were all true. And, the NFL, Roger Goodell wrote a letter to the president, President Biden, and said to him they're going to offer them all the stadiums, the NFL stadiums, to give out the vaccines, which I think is a great idea because they're all big. I mean, this stadium in Vegas, brand new, hasn't even had any fans in it yet. So I'd be like, hey, I'd be down. I'd go in there and get a vaccine if I could see the stadium. I mean, I'm going to get a vaccine anyways, but you know what I mean. So I thought that was cool. Football rocks. And that's it, baby. So I'll see you if any big news happens or in a few weeks when the NFL free agency opens up. So I know you guys are going to miss this because, as always, it's my dad's face on a woman's body and it just ain't fair, all right? I'm just saying. But it's a face you just don't, you want to keep seeing because you know what? I make you laugh. I give you a little knowledge and I make you laugh. I hope I make you laugh. I mean, this is going to make you laugh. My God. I wake up every morning and look in the mirror and, it's you, Lynn. All right. Love you guys. Wear your masks. Please get vaccinated if you can. Stick together because we need to stick together. And my subscriptions have gone up a little bit, so I'm really excited. I'm getting closer to 200, man. I get to 200, I'm throwing myself a party right here in Vegas, baby. Okay. As always, keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby. And I'll see you next time.